Thank you.
Okay, Helen, it's all yours.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. So wonderful to be here. And wonderful after being in Levita last month, just to catch up with you all again. It was just an amazing, amazing time. So transformative and powerful. And thank you so much for having me back there again. And yeah, just wanted to start by saying that. So, and yeah, retreat is always amazing. So I thought I would just start off and see if there's anyone that has any questions or anything they're challenged with right now that they would want to discuss or get some help with. See what's been going on with you all since we were last here together in the sanctuary. So if anyone has anything they want to ask or share, please just raise your hand here or just unmute yourself and go ahead. Let's see where this conversation takes us over this time we have together. It'll be wonderful. Anyone have any problems or is anyone suffering? April?
Yeah, hi, Helen.
Hi.
I don't know about suffering, thanks to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know how to ask the question or whatever, but I know you talk a lot about the self, the noumenon, and what it is. But now I'm looking at the separate self, and it's the not knowing, which keeps me, from having, from suffering. So if I know something, I'm going to suffer.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's the separate self is the knowing self. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. So if I know something, then I'm going to suffer. So
Much, yeah.
yeah.
And you'll experience the opposite of it too, right? Whatever you know, you're probably going to experience the opposite too.
Yeah. Yeah. So that, I mean, it's I don't know. It's the separate self is the sneaky one.
Oh yeah.
The sneaky, the self, I understand, I don't want to say I understand because you can't understand it, but I've got a kind of a handle on it. But the separate self, the sneaky one, it's, that's if I know something, then I'm going to suffer. And then you're saying, if I know something, I'm going to make it happen. So it's like,
well, we experience both sides of that. Let's say, I know that I'm unsafe. I feel unsafe. I'm going to experience that and periods of safety, right? That's the nature of duality of the separate sense of self. You're going to experience both of those. So, and you keep going backwards and forwards between them.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's kind of where I'm at right now. So thanks to you. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And just remembering that separate sense of self is just a bunch of thoughts, right? It's just a bunch of thoughts, not an actual thing. It really, really helps to remember that if we can, when we can. Thank you. Wonderful. Olivera, sorry, I hope I'm saying that right. Hi, love. Hi.
I'm so happy to talk to you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry for my English.
Oh, it's very good. It's very good.
Thank you. So I've been seeking since my 19th, and I'm 52 now.
Mm-hmm.
So I started a bhakti path, I had a spiritual teacher who has left his body 15 years ago or something like that. And so either I didn't understand really good but it is a problem for me, a big problem, because I believed in God. I believed in my teacher's guidance, that he's always with me and stuff like that. And when he passed away, since then, I feel lost. I realized listening to Advaita teachers, I realized that there is no God as I imagined it. And I don't have a teacher, so I'm always in a state of anxiety. And so I was following teachers on YouTube, and luckily I came across your videos, and what you are saying and how you are saying it appeals the most, like it touches so deep. And so I started following you, watching your videos every day, and trying to apply what you're saying. But there's still this enormous anxiety, like if there's no God and if I have no guru, you know, like just enormous fear. I started, a self-inquiry, and I'm doing it for some time. But there's always this fear, oh, there is no God, so there's chaos, and I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm that which is aware of everything. So what is it? What am I? What am I to do?
Yeah. So there's no God outside of you, right? There is only God, you could say, right? Only God, not a God outside, separate to us. That's a different thing, because if there's no external God, then and your previous teacher said that they are always with you, right? Always with you as you, right in the heart, yeah. And what if right in here is God already? What if God is looking for itself? Strange thing to say, right? We always think God would know, but when God appears as a human being, it can get very confused for a while about itself. Yeah. And then if we have believed God is external, we might be confused to see that isn't the case. And then, okay, well, what is God then? If we can prove that if there is God, then God must be always here, right? Always present, and present everywhere equally. When we look for ourselves in self-inquiry, like you were saying, you called it awareness. We could call it awareness too, or God. What do you find when you do the self-inquiry? You said awareness. Do you want to tell me a little bit about your self-inquiry?
Well, so I go back to what is aware of any experience.
Mm-hmm.
And I just find awareness.
And is that you and awareness, or is that just awareness? Can you find a person being aware, or is it just kind of awareness when you look?
Yes, no, there's no person.
It means then that what you are is awareness, right? Is this awareness, if we look at the awareness together, I mean, we can't see it with our eyes, but if we experience that awareness now, is it coming and going? Or is it
Yeah.
always here?
It's just there, and it's an absolute peace, like nothing is moving there. But then somehow I get so frightened of it, like it's just there. It doesn't have any arms or legs or house or so it feels like being so lost.
But you said that there's no person being aware. So let me ask you, are you looking at the awareness or are you looking from it? Because if you're being the awareness already, looking from it, there's really nothing to be scared of, right? If you're a person looking at this awareness, it might be scary. So just let's play with this question if you want for a minute. Am I looking at or from awareness? What happens when we ask this question?
Yes, actually, I was watching the awareness, but then who is it? Who is the eye that watches the awareness? So it must be awareness, aware of itself.
Yeah. That's different, right? That's very different. There's no fear there. If there's a little eye looking at awareness, the little eye goes, oh, awareness might squish me, you know, and there's fear, but there was for me. But then I realized actually I can't find this eye that's looking at awareness.
Exactly.
All I keep finding is awareness. Could God be recognizing itself then?
Yes, that's what's happening, but I'm so full of concepts. So this concept of a separate God keeps, mixing with what
Do concepts affect you though? Is awareness thinking?
No.
Mind is thinking, right? But is that you?
No, because I am aware of what the mind is doing.
Mm-hmm. How does your body feel when you sort of realize, I'm not affected by mind, actually? Does your body relax a little?
Yes, but it feels like a work in progress. Like I always have to remind myself to go back and see what's the ultimate witness.
Can we go just one little step deeper?
Is there more deeper to it?
Well, just a little confirmation, maybe we could say. If you are awareness already, then do you have to keep going back and proving, or are you watching even this?
Yes. Wow.
And that's enormous, right? That's huge.
And it changes
Everything, everything. Because we have identified with the one that seems to be seeing it and then going back and seeing it and then going back. But you said you see only awareness and there's no person. And awareness is already free, isn't it? It's always awareness. It's never lost or found even, it's just here. So just when it feels like you've got to make this effort to go back again, just go, well, is that my job actually? If I'm awareness, what is awareness doing? It's not doing anything, is it? It's just kind of sitting here peacefully.
I keep I what do I do with this? I keep feeling that something has to be aware of that ultimate essence, and somehow I have to get to the ultimate realization, and the person will fall off, and I will live as awareness. But
Isn't awareness already living as awareness? You see, we want to stay employed, right? We want a job to do. The seeker wants something to do. But if you're already awareness, the job is done. Just to keep seeing that, right? Just to keep seeing again. There's no work for me. I'm already free as awareness.
Oh, wow. So the person can play out.
Yeah, it will be seen to just be a sense of a person, and it'll be given less and less importance. I didn't ever get rid of my person because it wasn't really there. It was just, it seems to be, right? Something, some
Yes.
seeking energy or something that wanted some work to do.
Yes, I see.
Just tasting awareness again, just resting as awareness, tasting it again. It's like that seeking, it can do whatever it wants. I'm going to hang out here as awareness. And it just gets more and more obvious. This is what you've always been. And you start to really feel God awareness, same, always here, everywhere, inside every form, as every form, no difference, right? Awareness is equally aware of everything it sees. It is divinity. It has no judgment, has no capacity to destroy anything. It's love.
Wow, this was very helpful.
Well, some very good open seeings. Just keep coming back now to awareness and just keep checking out whatever problem mind gives you. Whatever it says now, oh, you have to remember this, you have to keep this, whatever it says, you just keep coming back and experiencing awareness and going, no, I'm just going to rest here as myself. Yes.
It was my idea that the awakening has to happen, and suddenly I see. But as you said, you just keep resting as awareness, and then it becomes more and more obvious. So
Yeah. For me, it was never a huge seeing. It was just lots of little seeings like we've just done here. And each time there's no person, there's just awareness. I must be awareness. Then it just became more and more obvious and less able to think of myself as a someone anymore, right? It just fell away gradually. There were no huge moments where, where suddenly it was just very quiet and very ordinary, really. So
I'm so happy to be able to talk to you and clarify this. I in all this ocean of spiritual teachers on YouTube, somehow your videos caught my full attention, and there's possibility to actually talk to you.
It's wonderful. So glad we got to talk, and you used it so well, and you Just keep seeing this now, right? Keep coming back to there's only awareness when I look. There's no person. It's done. Yeah.
So grateful. I'm so
Thank you.
grateful.
Thank you.
so
Wonderful.
much.
Thank you. Melanie?
Yeah. Hi, Helen. In one of your meditations, treating all phenomena equally, you had mentioned that that I use my senses to see an object like I'm using my hand. I see my hand with my vision, my sense of vision. But my attention focuses on the emptiness. But I feel that I'm using my sight to see the space, to see the emptiness around the hand. Like if I close my eyes, I don't see my hand, but I also don't see the space around my hand. And I was wondering, is it important? Because I do think that I use my sense of vision to see the space. But I thought you were saying that the sight sees the object, the hand, but my attention is aware of the space.
Yeah, it's we can check it out now if you want to. I mean, it seems like we're using our senses to see the space around the hand, but are we? Because our senses pick up vibration, and our eyes pick up vibration that goes into the optic nerve, and we see a particular shape. But can we see something with our eyes that's invisible if it has no vibration? Can we see the emptiness, the self, the nothingness with our eyes if it's not vibrating at all? So you can only see that there's something that's invisible around the hand, right? That's all you know. This is visible. And we know the presence of something invisible, but is that with our eyes? Because our eyes pick up, like all of our senses, they work on vibration. Are we hearing silence? We could call it silence or emptiness. And I used to think I was hearing the silence, the infinite silence with my ears. But when I really listened, if I put my fingers in my ears, and I won't do it now, otherwise I won't be able to hear you, but and everyone can test this out, if I put my fingers in my ears and block my sense of hearing, I can hear that I can't hear anything. I still know that I can't hear anything if I do this. That knowingness itself is silent, is the silence. So the senses, they work on vibration, the five senses. But the infinite self, the formless emptiness, it isn't vibrating at all. It's totally unmanifest. So we can't really be seeing it with our eyes.
So my question is, like, if I have these two pencils, here there's no space between them, and here there is. And the only reason I know that is through my sense of vision.
Through contrast of being able to perceive the two pencils with your eyes, then you can see that these two objects have moved apart, right? And there seems to be space between them. Yeah.
But you're saying, I think what you're saying is that I'm really not seeing the space with my eyes because there's no vibration in that. There's no vibration. So it's kind of like, I think I'm seeing it, but I'm not seeing it. That's like confusing to me.
It is a little at first, but if you close your eyes, we can check it out. You can see with your eyes closed, you can see that you can't see anything, right? There's something that still knows or sees.
Yeah, I can't see anything, including the pencil.
But you see that your eyes are closed. Something sees even closed eyes. What is that sees that the eyes are closed, that knows the eyes are closed?
I thought what sees that is the feeling that I feel my eyelid is, the top eyelid is down onto the bottom eyelid.
But
I mean, I feel like I feel that. I
yeah,
feel,
that's a feeling. You can feel the eyelids touching each other, right?
right. And I
What
see
is
blackness or
uh-huh.
darkness.
What is it? Who is the eye that sees blackness? What is that? Bringing attention to that eye. You said I see blackness or darkness.
Well, my first answer would be I, the character, Melanie, sees the darkness.
But just have a look at that eye and see, is it actually a character or is it something different?
Well, I know it's, I know the correct answer is that the noumenon, or the awareness with a capital A, is seeing it.
Let's not go for the correct answer. It is technically right, yeah, but just tell me what you can about that sees. Can you find it in any place?
Again, like I feel like, yeah, it's right here. I'm sitting here in this chair, so the place is right here. My mind is seeing that in this body, whatever, the brain is seeing it, even though I know the correct answer is the awareness or the noumenon.
What sees the brain even? What knows you have a brain? Even if the brain was seeing, something knows the presence of a brain, right? Something is before even the brain. Just taking a minute with that, right?
And that is, the awareness with a capital A.
And tell me a little bit about it. What is it that sees even the brain, that knows the activity in the brain? It doesn't matter if you can't answer that question. Just trying to see, what is it that knows even my mind? What is that? Because the curiosity is going to take us deeper into a direct experience. It doesn't matter, again, if you can't answer directly, just to go, what is it that knows even what's going on in my mind? Because you know whether you're having a thought right now or whether there's no thoughts. And that which knows the mind is before the mind. Just kind of exploring that here together, like what is it that knows my mind even?
I think I used to think my mind knows my mind. Something in my mind has that capacity to know the thoughts and has the capacity to know.
Can mind know itself though? Can mind look at itself? Is it sentient or is it just thinking thoughts?
What do you mean, is it sentient? Like,
to know something, there has to be some sentience there, right? For mind to know itself, it must be intelligent. But is mind actually intelligent or is it just a thought machine?
well, see, I think my mind is intelligent.
Yeah.
And I actually kind of work on making it more intelligent.
Well, higher frequency thoughts and new and original thoughts, they might be possible, but doesn't necessarily mean it's got its own sentience. If let's go at it this way, it might be easier. Can that which knows the mind, if you know something else, don't you have to be here first before the thing that you know? What happens with that question? Can you, are you here before the mind or after the mind?
I I mean, my first gut answer would be that I am here as the mind is here, like together. When the mind entered, I, the character Melanie, entered.
But you can exist without any thoughts, right? There are many times during the day that there are no thoughts and no mind activity, even in deep sleep. If you were the mind at the same time, you would cease to exist every time the mind stops thinking, even a second.
Oh, I thought my mind sometimes could think and sometimes could not think, that it didn't have to always be thinking. And when you had said that, can the mind be aware of itself? I think, even though I know it's the wrong answer, that why not? If awareness can be aware of itself, why can't the mind be aware of itself? You know what I mean? How is awareness aware of itself? The same way the mind could be aware of itself.
Well, awareness has sentience, right? It's seeing, it's lookingness itself. By its nature, awareness is aware, watching, seeing. So it can see itself, or it can see mind. It can watch itself, or it can watch mind. And then it turns back to notice itself, or to look at an object like the mind, a thought. But can the mind do that? Can the mind also turn around and look at awareness and then look at itself? Does it have the same properties? Is awareness the same as a thought, or is it different?
Well, I thought the mind could look back because, in the meditation, when I'm thinking of thoughts, then my mind turns back to awareness. So I thought I was using my mind when I'm focusing on a thought, awareness, looking at awareness, or the name of the meditation. So when I'm into the thoughts, then I turn my attention back to the awareness. So I thought my mind was doing that.
You said then I turn my attention back.
Right, my attention, or but who's doing that? I thought my mind was doing that.
That's a good question to stay with, right? To explore maybe over the next few days, because if mind is doing it, then mind's running the whole show. But if something else is in charge of attention, then we might make a huge discovery there. So if you like this, we can play with it over the next few days and see what is it that's moving attention? Just hanging out with that question for a little while and see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it is mind, then we should be able to find out and prove it for certain, right? Or otherwise. Yeah. Maybe just hanging out with this question then and seeing if what comes out of it. What is it that's moving? Something's moving attention from a thought back to awareness, a thought, and just really sitting with the question, what is it that's doing that? See what happens.
Okay, thank you.
Wonderful. Thanks for exploring with me.
Thank you.
Grace? Hi, love.
Hello. Just want to make sure that. Okay. Yes. Okay. So I'm just curious about. There is always something like it feels really prominent. Something like sitting on my chest. It feels like I am like. There is the sense that there is something suffering. And I remember I asked you this question in Spain, like, so who is suffering? And I still somehow, I can't like have this separation between like I am suffering when there are thoughts or all this emotions. So who is suffering? Like, what is that's suffering? And I don't seem to, yeah.
Let's have a look and see if we can find someone who's suffering. If it's you, let's see if we can prove it, right? Or disprove it. If you want to.
Yeah, it's just like I can see the emotion are bubbling already here. Like, just by coming close to this. Yeah.
So it feels like I'm the one suffering. It really, really seems like that, right? And it feels up close and intense. But can you actually look for and find anyone that is suffering? There is sensation, there is emotion, but can we find who that belongs to? Who's watching that? Take your time with it.
I mean, another way to say who's suffering is who is experiencing. What is the experiencer? Because so the experiencer is me. So if I'm not the experiencer, so who am I?
What is me? Let's not skip right past this. Me. Tell me about me. What is it? Where is it? What is it made of?
Yeah, it's hard. It feels like it's a hard question to, like, it's like a cat trying to look at her tail, or I feel like it's like how
We could do a really simple thing. We could look at our hand, right? We can all do it together here, as we were doing with Melanie, and just asking, what is it that sees the hand? We could say, well, my eyes see the hand, but the eyes are reporting to something else, right? That we've just called I or me. What is it that's looking through my eyes at this hand? And where is it? When I try to ask these questions, I can't find an entity or a person. Have a look and see what you find.
like right now I'm noticing I'm having even hard time to be even present here. Like there is suddenly a tsunami of emotions, and the energy is, and there is only confusion, and like somehow I don't even know if I can hear you, like, and that's what usually I am curious about. There is suddenly a wall.
A wall for who? You know, even the wall, right? You know. Before I asked this question, I was relatively okay. Now I've asked this question, there is this confusion, this wall, these emotions. But you know both of those, right? You see confusion, you see the wall. You're still seeing, you're still knowing, you're still here as what the watching.
Yeah, I mean, there is that deep knowing.
Tell me about that deep knowing.
Yeah, it feels like there is something like sometimes I recognize it's just very quiet inside, regardless of what's happening.
And is that gone when there's a lot of turbulence inside? Is that knowingness gone?
No, but it feels like somehow maybe I have abandoned that knowing.
Can you abandon it? Or is that just feeling?
This is the experience. This is what I'm experiencing. So again, it's like who's experiencing this?
Look at the evidence. How do you know that you've abandoned it? What evidence are you giving me for that?
Because I'm suffering. It feels like there is I'm not there. I'm not in that like, you know, that peaceful state. So there has to, it feels like there's something wrong. Something else is taking over.
So I want you to, if you want something to investigate, it feels like you've stepped away from that knowingness and now you're suffering again, right? That's the experience, is what it seems like.
Yeah.
But I want you to really stay with this. Have you actually stepped away? Can you prove this? There is intense emotion, right? We're not denying that. The body's feeling emotion. But can you prove that you left the knowingness? Or is that just a well-believed thought that we keep experiencing? That I was being this knowingness and now I've lost it and I'm gone back to the suffering and I'm suffering again.
When I heard you say this, what came to mind, as if like I'm suddenly wearing this thought or belief as a costume, and I somehow it's like Halloween party, and I'm suddenly identified with that. It felt like, yeah, it's identity crisis. Like it becomes like me. Like so,
you take that shape, right? You
yeah.
take that shape of that thought, and that's why I'm poking into this. Have you actually stepped away from the deep, quiet knowing and gone back to suffering? Or are you believing you have and therefore experiencing that thought? That's different, right?
Yeah, yeah. And now I'm actually curious now, is it possible that I embody a belief, that I become the belief?
Yeah, immediately and totally. Anything I hold to be true because I am the infinite reality. Any thought that I wear as a costume, I like the way you said that.
Yeah.
I'm going to experience that completely. So if I think the first time I really saw who I was, who I am, the very next thought that came is, oh, you need to hold on to this or you'll lose it. And then the very next experience I had was of losing it.
Yeah.
To show me, this is the thought I'm wearing right now. This is my outfit for today, right? You got it, you lost it.
Yeah.
You got it, you lost it. So no, just inquiring and being curious, like you said, can I actually turn away from this knowingness if that's what I am? Or am I just experiencing the idea that I can? Because they're two very different things. This is huge, right? When you you get a taste of it.
Yeah.
Really important, yeah.
There is still like somehow like I'm very curious about the mind. Like I remember about our encounter in Spain when you were telling me, you said I was talking to your mind when you told me about that thing. It's still something. It's still like something. It takes me in a trip. Like, okay, so Helen was talking to my mind, which means I am not my mind, but like, who was talking to my mind? Like, something. It feels like. Does this mean also Helen was seeing me through the lenses of thoughts? Because there is still reaction in my body about that.
It's fine. It's best not to. Excuse me, not to worry about it too much. But if someone that I'm talking to is still in that moment, at least, believing themselves to be a person, then sometimes we might talk to that imaginary person just to help it shed some of its ideas. But sometimes we talk directly to who we really are, and then this is what I'm doing now, right? Can you step away from knowingness if it is what you are? Something to really investigate there. Because if you believe you can step away, now I've gone back to illusion, will it keep experiencing that over and over again, right? So powerful we are.
It feels like it's very powerful, this awareness that I can suddenly take another shape.
Yeah.
And totally have a lifetime manifesting that.
The awareness really believes I am a human being, and it has a whole lifetime being that human being until it realizes, actually, I am awareness. And then it still plays as the shape of a human being, but never gets caught again. And any thought that we hold on to, even the idea that I came out of illusion and now I'm going back into it, we'll keep experiencing that. So these are the ones we have to really question. And if there's curiosity around this one, that's good, that's exciting, right? Just hanging out with that for a few days and see what happens.
Yep.
Can I actually leave the knowingness? Can I actually leave it? Yeah.
Wow, it's the belief in abandonment, I think, whether it's happening to me or me doing it. Okay.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Aaron? You're still muted there.
Hi, Helen.
Hi.
Lovely to meet you.
Lovely to
I'm
meet
a
you too.
huge fan, huge fan.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for all your teachings. You kind of answered a lot of the questions in all the other conversations that you've had.
It
So,
never hurts to go through them again because we all need to hear it, you know.
well, okay. I've got your teachings to the point, you know, in terms of observing the mind, observing the someone, observing the ego, having a fight with itself, and none of it's happening to that which is aware. I've completely got that. I've completely got that. But there's this flip-flopping that keeps happening. So I feel like I have to be in a way sometimes alert to when I've either forgotten or lost the memory that I'm not the someone having the conversation. It usually happens when I'm in unfamiliar circumstances. So if I go out of the house and go into town and I meet people that I don't really know, then I find it more tricky to sort of be at the furthest, you know, being at the back of the cinema behind the someone, watching the someone. So yeah, I just really wanted to know like what you've got for that. I mean, the question really is, I'm flip-flopping, but I'm flip-flopping in different scenarios with different people, particularly new people.
What do you find when you look for yourself now here with me? What are you?
I know that I'm awareness. I'm that
And
which is before everything else.
you're experiencing it right now, awareness? What is it that's hearing these words through your ears? And again, we'll call it awareness just for a word label, but something is listening through your ears, right, to these words.
Yeah, it feels like it's just emptiness.
Emptiness, yeah, whatever you want to call it.
It's an emptiness. It's very, it feels like there's a frequency of silence, and then behind that frequency of silence, there's a very thin layer of nothingness. And it's that layer that I'm not really stepping into very deeply. I'm in the space where it's silence, like I'm in the frequency of silence, but I'm not behind that.
Can you prove that? Can you prove that there's the nothingness and then you appearing in front of it? Can you actually prove that? Really look closely and see, is there a you and nothingness? Take your time with this.
It's like a large screen. It's like a very, very large screen
Two-dimensional?
of something. One
Two.
dimensional. Feels like it's one dimensional in terms of it's just one piece in front of me.
And who are you that's seeing it? Don't think about it, look and see.
Nobody. I mean,
Form, are you form or formless here?
Right here in this moment now, speaking with you, it appears to be form, but I know it's not.
What is it that sees even that form? You see
Emptiness, an emptiness.
an
It's like a
emptiness.
nothingness. It's a nothingness to me.
Oh, it's formless, right? It's intangible emptiness, yeah? So looking at that formless emptiness now with me, is it forgetting and remembering who it is?
Never really.
Always the same, right? Always just here.
It's observing the moving thoughts that are going on.
Yeah.
it isn't always there's something here that's not always conscious of those changes, but
Is the
before, during, and after, the awareness was always there to document what happened.
Yeah.
So that never was gone. In terms of the awareness is never there and never gone, but it appears like it's gone. It's like an appearance, like it's gone. Yeah.
Attention goes away from that back to a thought or a sensation in the body. It appears that that awareness, emptiness has gone, right? But has it really gone? Can it disappear?
In this conversation, it's almost like I'm focusing on it, but when I'm going about my day-to-day life, I'm not really focusing on it. I'm like looking at the cars, hearing the
Tell you
noises.
something really important, right? Let's really slow down with this next bit. Are you focusing on this aware emptiness, or are you the aware emptiness? Are you looking at it, or are you looking from it? Take your time with this. So let's really slow down with this, because we really want to make sure we can be clear on this.
It feels like I'm tuning back into it, back into that space.
From where? From outside of it or inside of it as it?
From inside.
A person inside it or actually being it?
There's no, it's not a person tuning into it. It is a beingness.
So it's
it's
seeing
like
it. You are, right? It's recognizing itself. The empty beingness, tuning into it is good, but tuning in as it, seeing this is what I am. There's no person, right? When you look for it.
Mm.
So I'm going to ask you then, are you the one forgetting and remembering? When you're out, then the body's out in around other people in a social situation, it feels like I'm the one forgetting and remembering. But from here, what we've just seen, is that true?
It's not true. What's aware is never forgetting. It's what's not aware of its own self that appears to be forgetting.
Can you find anything that's not aware? Can you find anything other than this? When you look at this empty awareness, is there anything else there?
It's all awareness, aware of the one that forgets, the one that remembers, the one that feels, the one that doesn't. It is omnipresent.
So
but
next
there's
time,
someone that sort of kind of pops up.
Mm.
It says, "Oh, you forgot," because now you're thinking again.
Is that something you have to fix? Is that your problem? Let's say, right, you come out of inquiry like this or meditation and you're feeling amazing, and then you go down the pub with your mates and suddenly there's this feeling, oh, you know, some things, and something in here says you've forgotten the awareness. Can you just kind of go, I'm not playing with that today. See what happens, right?
Yeah, of course.
Because we've just seen there's no person, there's only awareness, and it isn't forgetting or remembering. Maybe that thought arises because we believe it's possible to forget and remember. We believe that's us. And as we investigate and see, not so much, right? Awareness is just awareing, it's just being. It's not doing anything. It's certainly not remembering or forgetting. I remember the very first time I just let this thought arise and I didn't grab a hold of it and try to remember. Oh yeah, I'm forgetting quick. Let me try and remember. And it just kind of, body just relaxed again. I was like, that's so cool. Right? So maybe just playing with it a little bit and experiencing yourself again as awareness, emptiness, and just confirming again, I'm not even forgetting or remembering. I'm just seeing what I've always been, right? That which seems to forget, we can't even find it. We can't find a person. You said there's no person. Is it just running away when you look? And does it come back afterwards, this person, or is it never there?
So what would be your definition of somebody who's fully awake, like 24/7?
Just to be always just being awareness. So not filtering that through some thought structure. You know, every thought we believe distorts our perception of reality. And there's a point where you've seen yourself to be awareness enough times that you're not doing anything, you're not waking up even, you're not forgetting, you're not remembering, you're just here as awareness, that you can't really believe any thoughts anymore. Even if mind says, oh, you're losing it, you go, okay, no, it's not really an issue for you, right? Mind could say anything from there and you just can't go with it. You also can't push against it either. It's just, they're just thoughts, right? From there, like clouds in the sky. So we have to look and investigate a few times just to double check that that isn't my problem. I'm not the one remembering here. I see myself awareness. You see yourself as awareness, right? Mind is just commentating on that like someone commentating on a football match. Doesn't really know what's going on so much. It's just talking about what it thinks is happening.
Yeah, and I have been watching your teachings where it's saying just make it a habit. Keep bringing yourself back to awareness, and I am doing that, and it is becoming more of a habit. It's only occasionally that I'm re-identifying as the separate someone. It's occasionally.
That's perfect. Perfect.
It's
And nothing's
just
going wrong
occasionally.
here. Nothing's going wrong with this. All that's happening is mind showing you an idea that it still thinks is true, that you can lose this, right? So that you can investigate and go, no, that's not really true for me. That's not my problem. The mind will tell you another thing and you look at it and go, as awareness, that's nothing to do with me. So that as soon as you realize that doesn't apply to me as awareness, you never have to experience it again. Until we investigate, we think awareness can lose it or step away, right? Like we were saying with grace, we called it knowingness, but same thing. I had to investigate this too. I seem to keep it, lose it in, at home on my own, blissed out, peaceful, go around with the beings, ashamed and scared and angry and everything else, right? So I had to really investigate this too, and most beings do.
Yeah. And one other question as well is like, I'll ask you is there's quite a lot of sort of advanced spiritual teachers out there, and they do sort of recommend. I don't know if I've never seen you recommend this before, but they say that like once you get into awareness, you can then go into higher states of awareness, and you do it by moving the energy upwards out of the head and entering a higher space above you. And it almost seems like they're trying to say that you can have a view of awareness outside of the body,
I found
looking
it
down like an astral projection sort of thing. Have you got any
different
experience with that?
a little bit, but it's different to awakening. There are other states that you can experience and all of that, but I found awareness to just be very simple, not a state, something that just is, and it's omnipresent, as you said. To be honest, awareness is so fabulous, being awareness, that I'm really not interested in any of that other stuff.
Same. Yeah, same. Just
There's nothing wrong
peace
with it,
and
but
freedom. Yeah,
peace that then deepens into joy and love and bliss. That's plenty enough for me. There's nothing wrong with that.
same.
It just doesn't really have much interest for me. Yeah. Wonderful.
One other thing I want to say is
Real
that
quick, we're
you
almost
see
there.
you seem to be the only teacher out there that is not afraid of waking the whole world up. There's so many teachers out there that are holding back some of these key things that unlatch you from the mind. It's so refreshing to see someone that actually is fully devoted selflessly to waking up all of humanity. And I just want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You are all my awakening continuing, right? You're not separate to me. So of course, I'd care as much about your awakening as mine, you know. So thank you for that. I do appreciate it. Really nice to talk to you. Thank you.
And you. And you. Bye.
I'll hand it back to you, Shauna. Thank you so much, and for all the beautiful, intelligent